Let's talk about men punishing women at workplace for not being likable.
56% of women have been described as unlikable at work. And that's not even some kind of rage bait headline. It's actually true. There was some research conducted last year by a company called Textio, and they scanned the language used in 23,000 appraisals globally. And what they found was that 56% of women were described as unlikable in their appraisals, compared to 11% of men. And what's even worse is that 78% of women were described as emotional in their work appraisals versus 16% of men. This pisses me off for so many reasons, but the primary reason is because for so long, likability has been used as a stick to beat women with. And it's holding us back, because so often, especially at work, when we send emails, when we're talking in a meeting, we're thinking, am I being lovely enough? Am I being soft enough? Did I say please enough? Did I apologize enough? And that's really convenient, because we're always second guessing if we were palatable enough for that situation. We have to stop using likability as a legitimate measure when it comes to women at work. I would much rather be judged for my talent, my intelligence, and my ability to do a job, rather than how willing I am to wrap myself in glitter every single damn day.
If you have an understanding of the patriarchy playbook, I don't think this finding would be a shocker to you. The system naturally expects women to be agreeable, docile, submissive to men. Any human being that has been identified as a man automatically deserves submission from women or a woman. That is what the system is saying. And this is so because the system conditions and grooms us women from a very little age to be agreeable, to be likable, to make ourselves to be likable by men. Remember, they've always told us that at the end of the day, we are going to end up with a man, and all we do is going to end in a man's house. So growing up as a child, you've been trained from a very little early age to know how to be there for your husband, to know how to be a good wife material to your husband. So you being likable is also part of it. So in a work setting, when women are not exhibiting such traits, it becomes a turn off for men, because to them, they've been told that women are supposed to be this way. The study by Textio, which analyzed performance reviews for more than 25,000 people at 253 organizations, revealed that almost 3 in 5, 56% women received feedback labeling them as unlikable in performance reviews, a criticism faced by only 16% of men.
Have you ever been told that you're difficult to work with? What does that even mean? It means that somebody's projecting their own expectations and insecurities on you. They have a subjective sense of how you should be. They have a list of expectations in their mind, and your conduct should match that. What's interesting about this is they operate like this inside and outside the workplace. People just don't drop who they are when they log in. Oftentimes, when you don't meet the expectations of these people, they're going to label you as difficult, not realizing they are the problem. They're busy pointing the finger instead of looking in the mirror.
What do men unknowingly do on occasions to disrespect a woman in the workplace? Then we'll see how we can tie that into family.
I think sometimes well-meaning guys in the workplace just kind of assume roles to women who are also in leadership, but they kind of give them the roles of like, hey, if we're all in a meeting, who's taking notes? Let's go with the woman. If we need lunch for this meeting, or if we need details done for this project, most likely it's going to be the woman in the room who's doing that. So we just talked about like, okay, how can we help men see women more than just a support logistical role? Like, what we know that God, I mean, we see it all throughout the Bible. We see that God has gifted women in a ton of different ways. And that's not just, oh, because you're a woman, it's just hospitality, or it's just these. It's like viewing someone not necessarily just as being a woman, but what are their gifts as a whole, and how can we help women in the workplace walk in those gifts and not feel like it's just they're given their only role that should suit a woman.
Yeah, so I think we then take that to the home, and that should be the same question that we're asking.
I work in a male-dominated field because I am an engineer, and so that means that there's probably more misogyny in my workplace than in a lot of others. Currently at my work, I am experiencing dealing with somebody who is a misogynist and who is committing microaggressions against women, particularly against me. Essentially, I was put into a leadership role above this guy, and he didn't like it because he doesn't like women in leadership roles. I'm not like putting words in his mouth. He literally expressed this. This was his exact words. I found out you were the lead and I thought that was strange. So he literally decided when I was put on as the lead for this project, apparently this is his words as well. He had decided that he simply wasn't going to report to me and would just report directly to his boss, which in a project-based environment doesn't really make sense. I also wasn't told that, so from my perspective, I was the lead and he would be coming to me as the lead. So to make things worse, because I am the lead and I've been trying to be the lead and do lead things, it made him mad that I was trying to do my role as the lead. It basically caused me to have a meeting with him, and I didn't want to have a meeting with him alone because I'm uncomfortable with him in a room alone for obvious reasons. And the meeting was with our boss and the department head to basically try to work things out. That meeting took place this past Friday, and unfortunately what happened is that I basically spent 50 minutes having to put up with really toxic behavior, borderline verbal abuse from him, all while committing microaggressions such as calling me controlling, which is very typical for men who have a problem with women in leadership positions to do. I think the worst part of the meeting though was that the head of my department basically at the end of the meeting said, I know this meeting was hard, but I think it was healthy. To be clear, like I don't really want to hate on my department head because he actually has acknowledged like the misogyny, the gender bias going on. I just don't think he realizes in that moment how bad that experience was for me. So one of like the worst things about this obviously is that like he's the one making the stink. He's the one saying that I'm being controlling, I'm micromanaging him. He's the one that's gone and complained, right? But he's actually the one causing the problems. I've never had an issue with leaving jobs before, but this is the job that I really wanted to make a career out of. So this is hard. I am aware that the department head knows about the issues with this man. You know, like he's not blind to it, and he has talked to me about that. So I feel some confidence that like maybe something will be done, and that at the very least that I'm not going to like get in trouble just for trying to do my job because somebody who's a misogynist doesn't like me doing my job. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't concerned about like my career in the future and wasn't concerned about my ability to stay at this company and not have just constant problems with this man. My biggest worry is that I really am not doing anything wrong. I'm not being controlling. I'm not even close to trying to micromanage him. I'm simply trying to just do my job, and he simply just doesn't want me to. Undoubtedly, at some point, he's going to complain again, because if I don't stop doing what he doesn't like, aka stop doing lead role stuff, he's going to be upset about it, and then he's going to continue to complain. He's going to come to me and tell me all the problems he has with me, and who knows, he might even escalate it. I do have a meeting tomorrow with the department head just to kind of debrief, go over stuff. Hopefully he'll make me feel better mindset wise, and I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but I do think that if this man doesn't stop treating me this way and being a misogynist, at least outwardly towards me in the workplace, I don't know if I can stay here, and that sucks.
Other reasons why men say women are unlikable at workplace is because some women reject their, so to say, kind gestures. Gestures such as compliments. Some women don't like it when they constantly get compliments based on their appearance, how they look. They would rather get compliments based on their performance and not their outward appearance. You get what I mean? Secondly, men calling women sweetheart, darling, at workplace. Some women are not happy with that. The only people that are accepted to use such on them are the people that they have emotional connection with, family members or their spouse. So when women turn down such, so to say, kind gestures, men get upset, they get pissed. Always remember, majority of the men out there, regardless of where they are situated, are after pretty looking women, beautiful women, women with nice body, women that they can sex. You get what I mean? So the workplace is not an exception. Men are so quick to throw compliments and go after the prettiest looking woman or women in a work environment. They're so eager to favor women that are looking good over women that they perceive not to be as good looking as the pretty looking women. So this action, together with other action in this regard, has created kind of an imbalance in the workplace and also this competition amongst women.
I just saw this creator's video and I wanted to stitch it, but I couldn't. So I'm just going to tell you guys. She was talking about how at work settings, there will always be a woman or a group of women that do not like you. And the way that you can pick up on this is through their actions, how they treat you. They might come into the work environment, say hi to everyone else and not say hi to you. They might do just little things, but they're showing you that they do not like you. So I have a story about this. A job that I used to work at previously, it was really cliquey, very cliquey. The women were a lot older. And let me tell you, when you work sometimes with older women and you come into the space and you might be a little younger, maybe you're pretty, maybe you care about how you look, you will automatically be a target. That's a whole nother video. However, in my case, I was younger than most of the people on my team and I would dress up to work. Now, this was like an office job. We were working with some pretty like high executives, and I thought that we were supposed to come dressed up looking nice every day. But I realized very quickly that no one on my team ever did that. But instead of me conforming to the ways that the other women would dress and things, I was like, you know what? I'm still going to be cute. I still want to look nice. I still want to dress up. I'm not going to do like what these other girls do. Instant target. So there was this one girl, she was a worker bee. She was always at work, never wanted to work from home, never took a day off. And I realized very quickly that she did not like me. And this is basically how I started to find out. She would come into work, say hi to everyone, never say hi to me. Whenever she would come up to me and ask me for things or ask me to do something, she would never look me in the eyes. That is also a clear sign that someone does not like you, is if you're having a conversation with them and they can't look you in the eyes. Also, another like slight psychology tip is that if you're in a group setting and you're talking to people, look down at their feet. You're able to tell if someone likes you by the direction of where their feet are faced. If you're in a circle and people's feet are faced towards you, that is a good sign that they like you. They're engaged in the conversation with you. They want to be in the conversation with you. But if you notice that their feet is turned outwards or turned to another person and you're the person speaking and maybe they don't turn to hear what you're saying or look at you, they don't like you. Another thing that she used to do is she'd be at her desk, and if I'd go up to her desk, mind you, her computer would be facing like, it was cubicle style. So computers face this way, which means that her back was faced towards me, right? So I'd come up to her desk and I'd be like, hi, I just have a quick question. She'd stay on her computer and be typing. And instead of like turning around to answer me or to look at me, to engage with me, she'd be like, yeah, it's over there. Yep, you can just go get it. And like, she would never look at me. She would just keep her eyes on her computer.
Y'all want to know what's starting to piss me off? Every job I go to, it's a group of hate that hate me just because off the strength of that I'm a pretty ass. I'm over that. Like, I thought I got rid of the last job. I thought I was over hating that. I come to this job, everything cool, copacetic at first, but we got this new department. Old as 41 years old, act like a child. And every time, I don't even talk to the bitch. That's the bad part. I don't even give this bitch no reason to be on some hating ass shit towards me because I don't even say nothing to her. But every time I leave work and I come back the next day, it's some funky said or just some hating she done did. I'm over that. Like, what be wrong with these? It's always the older. What be wrong with them? Like, I can't help. I'm a bad. Even on my worst day, like, I ain't had my hair done in about a month or my nails. And you hating on me. What are you hating on me for? Like, I am so over the grown on a young bitch. I can't help you. I can't help it. On my worst, you still with me. Sorry.
Young, beautiful women tend to get more favorable treatment by older male colleagues.
If I am the employer and I'm a woman, and there is a very, very beautiful woman beneath me, am I less likely to promote her?
I hate to say this, but I think that, yes, there is a chance that that would in fact be the case. And you hear a lot about this when you hear about the sort of queen bee syndrome, where you'll have women feeling like they're being penalized unfairly because of their attractiveness by older women. And honestly, I think that some of the things that we've seen with, women trying to protect younger women from things like sexual harassment in the workplace, that some of this is actually an attempt by these women who are protecting these younger women of trying to prevent these younger women from having a resource acquisition advantage based on their beauty. Because I think that many times what you tend to see when women are trying to prevent other younger women from being sexually exploited is what's going on is you have younger women who are physically attractive and who are using their physical attractiveness as a means of being able to get, favors. The form that this generally takes is you'll have young, beautiful women, and if they have male supervisors, they just favor them because they're beautiful women. And I think that when you are an older woman and you see this going on, right, on the one hand, you can be concerned about the young women being exploited, but you can also be concerned about the fact that there might be unfairness going on and that these young, beautiful women may have an advantage that you don't have yourself because you're not a young, beautiful woman. And so sometimes I think that there are these two forces at play when we see the move toward trying to separate young, beautiful women from men in power. In part, that's, driven by genuine concern for the younger women, but then also based on a desire to eliminate unfairness based on the fact that young, beautiful women tend to get more, sort of favorable treatment by older male colleagues.
Men are still focused on controlling women in every area of life, even at work. They are intentionally pitting women against each other, pitting the younger women against the older one, creating a toxic work environment. I'm not in any way neglecting the fact that women love to compete. It all boils down to how we women have been conditioned. We were raised to be male-centered. The same thing is happening in the workplace. Men love to make everything about them. They love it when women focus on them. They love it when women make them the center of everything and their life. And that is what they do at the workplace. What do you think would be the outcome if you as a man, you're choosing to favor a younger, prettier woman over an older woman in a certain workplace? You're not choosing to favor them based on merit, but based on look and age. You're definitely going to create chaos, a toxic work environment, and competition.
Did your job make you sick? Because mine sure did. I'm going to tell you something. I started off as a very healthy individual, only to be beat down for like 10 years out of my 20-year career. And when I mean by beat down, I mean just treated in the worst way. And I'm a fairly strong person, and I usually don't let anybody talk down to me or do anything to me. But every person that is watching this video, you already understand that when your check is tied to you getting along with people and you just going along with the flow, that is what I did for so many years until I realized that it wasn't worth it. You see, I had developed anxiety, depression, and PTSD based on the chronic stress of being beat down and dealing with workplace bullying and mobbing each and every day. And I'm telling you guys, it's not worth it, because if you drop dead today, best believe they are filling your position tomorrow. So I went from this vibrant person who loved their job and was very health conscious and everything to just waking up and just dreading my day. And when you wake up and dread your day, you already know you are in the wrong space. You're in the wrong head space, you're in the wrong energy space, and then you go into an environment that just compounds that. And a lot of these employers that are allowing toxic work environments, they know this. They know exactly what they're doing. And what you guys may not realize, but I've done my research and me in my healing journey, because it took me about 2 years to get to where I am today, where I can talk to you. And these stories, I think I probably have about 200 and something videos on my YouTube channel, that's not even scratching the surface of my experiences. Again, you guys, I went through this for like 10 years, and thank God I have been away from that toxic work environment for a little bit over 5 years. So I want to be the example of what not to do. When you get the nudges from God, divine, universe, whomever, you know, this is a non-denominational channel here. So please don't come at me with the Bible verses. There's different people that watch this channel. We are all about workplace bullying, abuse, and mobbing. I'm strictly talking about where you get your your strength from, okay? Where your faith is. Wherever you have to plug into, that's what I had to do to finally get myself out of this rut. Because you guys, I was having nightmares. I gained like 45 pounds. I was drinking more than I would ever thought I would drink. I was popping a pill just to go to work. And you guys, the whole situation, it just went from 0 to 100. And I don't even know where I lost myself, but I lost myself in just trying to do the work, trying to be the best employee that I could be, only for me not to be appreciated. So I want you guys to put your health first, because health is wealth, and so is your time. And time is something that you can't get back. Your energy, you can't get that back either. And so if you have something to give, make sure that you're giving it to places and people that appreciate you. And if you find yourself declining in your health, whether it be mentally or physically, you got to make sure that you're looking out for you. You got to make sure that you're doing what's best for you. Again, let me be the shining example of what not to do. When I was tapped on the shoulder for so many years saying, hey, Chris, you know, you're better than this. Hey, you know, you can find something else. And in my mind, I was like, no, I can't.
If you would love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch a man looking for a placeholder girlfriend, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.